Round 7 of the Tasmanian Rugby Union down here at the glorious Rugby Park, home of rugby in Tasmania. About to watch a match between the Taroona Penguins and the Glenorchy Stags. You see Taroona taking the field as we speak. Last time these two teams met was out at Edie Street, the home of the Stags, and I think it was much to the surprise of most, other than probably the Glenorchy team, that they came away with a victory in a very close fought match, the final score being 29-26. Certainly Taroona were kind of somewhat shell-shocked by the loss in that game. I think they were expecting to win that one, and may have been a little bit complacent in the way they approached it, although certainly had some go forward from Oscar Gilding that match, who scored 3 tries. But I think the Lovels on the Glenorchy team matched that with, I think, 2 tries to Aaron and 1 to Michael. And Glenorchy managed to come over the top of them with that win. So vengeance will be on the minds of Taroona today. And we're just waiting for Glenorchy to appear from their sheds. Fairly breezy day. There's been a tiny sprinkle of rain, but nothing of any consequence, I don't feel. Hopefully, if that stays away, we'll have a good day for rugby. The sun's shining at the moment. Certainly be in the faces of those the Glenorchy players if they're running to our right. If that's the direction they're going to run when we start, they may change. Ground's in reasonably good nick. Grass is pretty long. There are some patches down here. I was down here last night. It's a little bit hard to run in some of these areas, but we shall see how it all pans out. Just in front of us here, you can see Matthew Brocklehurst in the smock for Taroona. When he runs on today, this will be his 200th game for the club, so we congratulate Burger, as he's known. Nothing to do with hamburgers, something to do with the military. The referee today is Craig Gardner. He's been doing an excellent job officiating this year. Certainly has put in some yards on the field with his refereeing. Being a few times doing multiple matches in a day, and on top of coming out here on Friday nights to help with the juniors as well. So thanks greatly to Craig for all his efforts, and all our other officials as well. Taroona are going to kick off to the left with probably the wind in their favour a little as well. Fairly strong wind, I think, blowing from right to left. Certainly want to capitalise on a wind like this on a day like today. Particularly given that the last match between them was such a close affair. And Ray with Ed, not a big passer, Salter to take the kickoff. So kickoff down the field. Harrison Thomas there takes the ball and runs into the tackle. Glenorchy secure the ball in that ruck and take a quick pick and drive. Taroona just defend easily. Glenorchy tactics showing here. We'll see if they continue that early in the game, but making a few good metres each time. Okay, ball goes out to Lovell, who kicks a low wobbly ball straight to Gilding, who looks up before he fields that, knocks it on in the pickup. Glenorchy will be very happy. Pretty average sort of kick there, but ends up in the favour of the Stags. So we'll have a scrum. Taroona's first line scrum has been, most of their games have been pretty well dominating the opposition. Glenorchy got a pretty big pack, particularly their front row. So we'll see how that pans out. Well, Matt, great drive there from the black scrum. And now they go through the hands, Lovell to Lovell. And Glenorchy with the ball out here around the halfway, just on the 10-metre line in attack. Halfback comes in there, Howie Highland for Glenorchy. Throws the ball wide to a sideways running back line. Actually not really a back line, they're all forwards out there. And ball gets in there. Not sure what's happening here. Scrappy play in there, but Glenorchy still secure the ball. They don't have a back line out this side, or either side for that matter. So Taroona can just stand and relax in defence. Good attacking play there from Glenorchy, running into contact, but not really making much ground. Good tackle out on the far side from James Holman. Couldn't see who the Glenorchy player was, and it's like we're holding on there. Reece Watts gets his hands on the ball. It's like maybe number 1, Jesse Hasty, possibly carried that ball into contact. And Solder with the long kick downfield in the exact direction that the wind's going. And all of a sudden, Taroona are deep in attack. So Glenorchy with all the possession so far. And pretty good ball security until that particular break down there. And Taroona will look to attack. Both teams suffering from some injuries to key players at this point in time. Teams sort of struggling to field full benches. There's a few. Well done to Glenorchy there to secure that ball in the line out. And a scrappy kick there, I think, from Highland. But ball goes out. Taroona will have another go. Last week, Taroona's line out was very successful against University, though University didn't compete in the air really at all, which gave Taroona plenty of opportunity to just practice where they was going to go. But they'll be certainly competing against the Glenorchy forwards, who have already shown that they can match them in the line out. So Taroona drive forward with looks like Watts with the ball again. Ball comes out to the back line, off to Rickard Daniel, who pops it to Solder, who gives it to Tom Marlowe, who dives over and scores. Defence was pretty solid though. Solder's wrap around Daniel there gave Taroona the extra man, and then the draw and feed to give it to Marlowe, who may not be as quick as he's been in the past, but he's been playing some good rugby this year in the number 21. So Taroona will be pretty happy with that start, I think. In a way, it shows the impact that the wind is having at the moment. That kick from Solder off the penalty previously took Taroona very deep into attack. Without that wind, they may have found themselves a little bit further out. Not quite as easy to score when your attacking line out is closer to the 10-metre line rather than in the opposition's 22. So Solder with the kick here. Again, the wind should help him here. And it does, and it's a very nice kick. Just tips it over. Taroona go to the lead, 7-0. So we'll see Glenorchy with the return kick. We'll see, I think it's going to be possibly Michael Lovell to take the kick. The wind's died down a little bit. If he's quicker, he'll be able to make his kick not impacted by that wind. There it is. It's a good kick too. Nice and deep there. Taken by Watts, who hands it off to Kazarine. They go to the back line with Gilding, who'll look to kick. It's a nice kick here. Runs straight over our head and out just shy of the halfway mark. So we'll see Glenorchy line out right in front of us here. Nice kick from Gilding there to clear the ball out deep out of defence. So Brady Blaranta here with the throw in for Glenorchy. See his front row teammates of Jai Terry and Jesse Hasty. Very well taken in there by Sam Cluck. And well run by Harrison Thomas there. One of the young players from Glenorchy who's just started his senior rugby career. I think he played a few games for the Stags last year and is now a regular fixture in here at number 7 today. Good hands by Glenorchy, but the defence was pretty solid. Taroona with the counter ruck here have stolen that ball. Again, another messy ruck here. It looks like the halfback's taken out there, but referee Gardner disagrees and has seen a knock-on in there. Must have been prior to Kazarine being tackled. So we'll see another scrum. Glenorchy scrum drove forward really in a strong manner last time, so they'll be looking for that nice ball again. Glenorchy backline spread very deep. Other than Highland there and Michael Lovell, I believe, playing at number 10. We've got Pota Fahoko at 12 and Aaron Lovell at 13, and then here comes the ball. A bit of a scrappy scrum that time. Lovell goes sideways to Lovell. Good hit from in there. We've got number 11, the nice fend to the face there, but well tackled. I think the touch judge has put his hand out. I'm not sure that there was too much going on. I didn't see what actually happened there.
Beautiful ball, lads. Taki. Beautiful.
High contact apparently. And Glenorchy have opted for a scrum. It was must have been the tackle of Charlie Holmes down there. Possibly on the number 11, Taki Skrepados, who was the winger on this side for Glenorchy. And Glenorchy with another scrum. So the ball's come out quickly there. Ordinary pass there under a little bit of pressure from the Taroona halfback, but Glenorchy recover nicely. And the ball comes wide. Bit of a knock on along the ground there, unfortunately from Highland. Can't quite get that ball and spread it wide quickly. So we'll see another scrum. This time Taroona will have the feed, and then again they'll be looking to clear the ball out of here. Glenorchy's backs running has been pretty good so far. They're taking the ball running sideways a fair bit. I want to sort of straighten up against this wind if they're to break through the Taroona defensive line. The wind's very strong at the moment. I think he'll be looking for a very long clearing kick here from Salter. May even throw it wide to Gilding, although Gildings are very, very wide here. It's a great kick downfield. No one deep back there on that wing for Glenorchy, and the ball bounces over fullback Kai Searle's head, but he gathers nicely. Takes it to the 22 and chips. It's not going to go out and lands in the chest of Salter, who gives it to Watts outside him. And there's been late tackle, I'm not sure. Salter takes the quick tap, but everyone's standing flat for Taroona on this side. Taken in by McConaughey. There's a bit of a handoff there, but again, no one's really running onto that ball. Michael Smith with takes the ball in this time. Glenorchy number 1 there, not getting out of the way at all. Really slowing it down. Good gang tackling. The Glenorchy defensive line's been really good with multiple tacklers each time, making sure that the Taroona players aren't getting through. Daniel takes the ball to the line and just lays it back between his legs. Ball ends up in the hands of Rob Holmes out on the wing, who nearly gets around his opposition number Trey Ramarito. And Taroona driving forward and attacking still. They go to the blind side again. And the ball's handed off to Holmes, who's just short of the try line. Can't roll over with momentum, and Taroona set the ruck a couple of metres out. See Kazarine taken out very late after the pass there. The tackle was sort of okay on time, but just drove through. And the wide ball here to Gilding, who's got Holmes outside him. That's Charlie Holmes, who steps over the line, breaks a few tackles, sort of taunting the Glenorchy defence by doing that. It's a little bit risky, but that's how he plays. And again, Taroona score nice and wide on this wing. Touch judge on the far side has had a flag out, so we actually haven't had the try awarded as yet. It may well have just been for the late drive on Kazarine. You can watch the replay tomorrow to find out what happened. Maybe can we postpone the game and then we'll wait until they finish the recording? Yeah. Obviously nothing of any consequence on the game there from the touch judge's call on that far side, so try has been awarded and we'll see Salter take the kick. Much easier kick than his previous one, and he's put it over the bar nicely. Taroona to the lead, 14-0. Tries to Marlowe and C. Holmes thus far. So the outside backs for Taroona doing the damage on the scoreboard so far. Both on this near side, the tries have been scored, so I think we've got Taki Skrepados in front of us here on the wing, who's got his work cut out for him defending when Taroona are making that overlap on this side. Makes it pretty tricky. So the wind really is making it difficult here for Glenorchy. They've played some good attacking ball inside Taroona's half. Okay, short ball. I don't think that's going to make the 10 there. Fortunately, the wind playing its part again. Taroona can opt for a line out where the ball went out, or we can come back for a scrum, and the scrum's the go. Wouldn't be surprised to see Taroona chip this ball into the corner either side again. With a wind like this, playing with the ball in the opposition half is definitely the go. So Taroona's attack stacked on this side of the field. And scrum to reset. You probably won't see this on the camera, but Glenorchy fullback Kai Searle is standing about 10 metres out from the goal line. He's a very long way behind in the middle of the field, and it's probably not a bad option too, where you can cover whichever side the ball gets kicked. I wouldn't at all be surprised to see Salter take it up a little bit here and then chip to the right of the field with Gilding and Rob Holmes on the other side there. No, the ball's taken by Watts off the back, who pops to Kazarine, gives the ball just out in front of Rob Holmes there, who can't take that. It's a good move. Holmes had a fair bit of space out there, but Glenorchy defensive line was covering and Holmes was unable to gather that pass in the wind. And we'll have another scrum. Glenorchy backline here is standing pretty flat. Searle's come right in off. No, Searle's now moving out wide.
Yeah, blood!
Oh, it's an amazing scrum, driving scrum there from Taroona, and we've got the penalty. They have the penalty advantage. Ball comes wide to Daniel, looking for someone to wrap him, and the tackle doesn't stick, and he runs forward again. He's pretty slippery. He doesn't have huge legs, Daniel, but he's got a great big upper body, and people usually struggle to hang on to him. He's got a bit of a spin when he goes into the tackle, and he's got to hold on to him. There's a few spinners in the Taroona back line. Ed Salter loves a good spin. Daniel loves a good spin. It's not something I'd expect to see from the Glenorchy back line. They're good hard runners, these guys at Glenorchy. But they love to get around the outside of their opposition. We saw Aaron Lovell in the blue headgear do that in front of us some time ago and made some good ground just getting outside his man and then stepping back inside. He's a big solid player. If Marlowe, his opposition number, doesn't get around those legs, he's going to struggle all day. Ball popped out to Daniel, who gives it back to Salter again. Pops it out and more wrapping, but the Glenorchy defensive line's covering here. Marlowe steps back inside and flicks it behind to Gilding, and Gilding's over the line and scores a great try. Fantastic ball work from the Taroona back line there. And now we've got 13, 14 or 13, 11 and 15 scoring the tries in that same spot there on the left wing. But some great support play there. The Glenorchy defence all covered very well. They just all overshot it, and when Marlowe went back inside, the defenders all stopped, and no one expected that flick pass there to Gilding, who was able to break the first tackle and then dive over and score. So Taroona go further ahead here with Salter to take the 2 points. It's kind of disheartening for a team to go down 3 tries in the first quarter of the match, though this wind is a very big factor in that. Big factor, and certainly would never discount the Glenorchy team to come back from this kind of scoreline. So Salter with the kick and a nice nudge there. The wind just takes it over. And Taroona go further ahead, so 21-0. Taroona will be pretty happy with that so far. Each time they've gone into attack, they've been able to come away with points. Obviously they've picked to exploit this left-hand wing here, sort of a bit natural with the wind blowing into the opposite corner. Coach Tonks for Glenorchy's just had a little bit of a word on this wing with Taki Skrebedos. Just I think it's got a tough gig out here with the Taroona backs running pretty rampant at the moment, so he's got to really cover carefully. But there's no one back on this wing, and Gilding sees that. And it's a long kick, bounces back in field there, and Searle can't quite gather it, but he's got lots of time. I think he's actually dropped that back inside his 22. So taken back inside by Searle.
Let's go, Blue!
Referee Gardner was on top of that there, and has taken the line out to Taroona all the way down to Glenorchy's 22. A little bit of inexperience there showing. Searle's still a young guy, but yeah, just was unaware of that he knocked the ball back inside the 22. Taroona's line out throw, not finding the mark, very crooked. Well picked up there by Lovell, who runs into contact. He's held up, his knees now on the ground, that have to be released, and we go to a ruck there. And Glenorchy recover the ball. Got Thomas behind there in the coloured headgear who asked for the ball, and he's interesting chip there. This will be well contested. Charlie Holmes jumps to take that ball and knocks it on, and the Glenorchy players in front there, Jai Terry in the number 3 there takes the ball and drives a great powerful drive forward. He's a strong man. He's done a great job. We go out to Lovell, who comes around, fends off 1, fends off 2, finds some space here on the blind. Well tackled there. Well tackled by Charlie Holmes and ball recovered by Mikey Smith for Taroona, who was a long way behind. Thomas never released Smith there. It was a great yell from some of the spectators over there, but been a knock-on spotted. I'm not sure, didn't see that, but knock-on against Taroona there, so a bit of relief for Glenorchy. It was a great run around there by Lovell, but well defended by Holmes, and the pass from Lovell didn't quite hit Scravitos on the wing there. If he had been able to take that, he would have had a bit of space behind the Taroona defensive line. Glenorchy with the scrum. Taroona wheels that and then drives on. Ball manages to come out on the Glenorchy side though. And Aaron Lovell there loses the ball in the tackle, but fends off well. And the number 12 there for Glenorchy with a really great drive, pushing back, giving his team a great attacking platform. Taroona line gets up together and defends well, but Glenorchy's rucking's really high quality, so very good. Again, Lovell here causing trouble for Taroona's defence. And we've seen I think it might have been Holman from Taroona there, trying to gather the ball but put his hands on the ground before trying to put his hands on the ball. And you must be supporting your own weight if you're going to attack the ball. So penalty to Glenorchy. And Glenorchy with an attacking opportunity here. Got a player down there. Front row, I think that's Michael Smith for Taroona. Glenorchy's inside backs are causing a little bit of trouble for the defence of Taroona. Their cover defence has been okay, but the Lovells particularly, and you've got Pota Fahoko in there as well, is just making it a little bit difficult for Taroona. Breaking tackles or taking multiple tacklers to take them down, which should give them some opportunity if they can get the ball out quickly at their ruck. Find some overlaps. Certainly a lot bigger back line than the majority of the Taroona back line. They need to try and exploit that. It's a great line out there from Glenorchy. Well taken by Klook. And then Lovell, in a little bit of a spit after dropping the ball, boots the ball into his teammate. That was Highland. Don't think he liked the pass there. And that man I mentioned at the start of the game, Matthew Brocklehurst, walks on for his 200th game. Burger. So congratulations. It's a great accomplishment, particularly seeing as though he hasn't been in the state of Tasmania for a lot of the time since he first started playing way back in around 1990 was the first game. Great quick ball there from Cazzarini. Really wasn't quite onto it and then realised that the ball was out. Comes in again. Just got to make sure those passes stick. Ball gathered by Marlowe, who finds himself slipping out of the tackle. Got a ruck. Glenorchy player's not really rolling out of the way there, but seems that it was okay. It's a lot of calling to the ref from the Glenorchy bench to my left. I can't really see what's going on from my angle here, but they weren't happy about something at that last ruck. Well done by Klook to get that ball out, and again some solid running there by Terry. Not much support with him, but they finally get there, and he's done a good job, even though he's a bit isolated. I can see one of the Lovells out there. I think that's Aaron Lovell out there in the blue headgear is down, and he hasn't moved from that spot for a few phases. Another penalty at the breakdown against Taroona, and we'll just see what's happening here. Bit of concern there for Lovell, I don't know, who's he holding? I hope he's okay. The last thing Glenorchy want is for Lovell, who's been probably their strongest runner so far, to have an injury and have to leave the field. And he's getting to his feet. A little bit of a limp, maybe a knee. Fingers crossed that he's okay. Okay, he's going to walk back and soldier on. He's been running well so far, so it'd be good to see him back on his feet. Exciting player. That left knee copped a bit of a bump, but he seems okay. All right, so Glenorchy with another penalty. Thomas to kick the ball out, and we've got a line out, 10 metres out. So Glenorchy have 6 in the line out. They've got Maynard, one of their locks, out in the line, just standing inside Michael Lovell at fly half. Been good in the line out so far, Glenorchy. That one's not found where it's wanted to go, and Holman for Taroona takes it, gets it off to Daniel, who's not tackled, finds a little bit of space and gives the dummy. Well tackled there. Oh, well, Searle stopped him enough for his teammates to get in there, but wasn't able to hold him. And the ball's given out to Taroona on the blind here. Charlie Holmes with a bit of a run through. Glenorchy have got to make sure their first tackles stick here. Okay, off the foot there. Kazarine's passing's been way too low. He's really got to make sure he's pointing his hands where he wants that ball to go. And Taroona, another penalty at the breakdown. So Glenorchy being very disruptive in there on their own ball, causing some pressure, and in that case, not sure, I think it might have been Gus McPhail coming in on the side of that ruck there. So Lovell with the penalty kick. Kicks it to his bench there, and Glenorchy will have a line out with a little bit of reprieve. Tiny chance for a bit of a breather. Great run there by Daniel. I can see him in the middle of the field there. He's huffing and puffing. That might be it. Might be done after that long run.
Let's go, Blue!
The fullback, Glenorchy fullback Searle put a good hit on him, but didn't hold on. Okay, well, ball won there by Taroona on Glenorchy's line out, and Holmes picks a gap up the middle and runs straight through it. Glenorchy bench now having a whinge about something. No, sorry, Taroona bench having a whinge about something, not Glenorchy. And Oscar Gilding waltzes through. The front row of Glenorchy, who hadn't really moved very far from that line out on this side, are complaining about something, but that was all too easy for Gilding. So that's his second try of the day. He scored the trifecta last time against Glenorchy, but that's 2 today. A little bit of a scrappy phases that led up to that. Taroona's sort of work at the breakdown is attracting the wrong type of attention from Gardner, the referee. You're going to have to tidy that up a little bit if they're not to continue to be penalised. But the scoreboard's all Taroona's way. As Solder preps for the kick, Rickard Daniel was asking for a sub, but the Taroona bench is not really looking like leading. So, looks like a substitution for Taroona with the large frame of Rickard Daniel appearing to be placed by the less than large frame of Tada. He's a very popular man at the Taroona Rugby Club, is Da, affectionately known just as Da. Long hair, he's a speedster. He's only very new to rugby and he's played a lot of reserve grade rugby over the last couple of years and is just starting to cement his place as a competitive player. Good to see him on the field. I do expect if Daniel doesn't want that ball with the injured leg and he chips it downfield. It's actually a very good kick. Searle takes it really deep inside the 22 and he's chipped it out, this time safely over the line. Quick line out taken by... I'm not sure why. The ball was touched by... I think the ball touched by spectators or something there, so... Taroona will have the more structured line out option. Good line out there, one win to Taroona. Kazarine throws the ball at the shins of Salter again, and his pass is not that good either. Gilding manages to flick the ball back somehow, and Holmes decides that in amongst this mess, kicking the ball downfield is the best bet. And Glenorchy backline are all offside there. So Taroona will have a penalty directly in front, about 25 metres out. They're calling for a quick tap. Not a lot of backline defence out here for Glenorchy.
Let's go, Blue, big scrum!
And the scrum. So with Taroona up 28-0, we're probably 5 to 10 minutes away from half time. Taroona up for a scrum. Their last few scrums have actually almost obliterated the Glenorchy scrum. And they'll be looking to do that again. It's one of those things that some teams are able to use as a bit of a weapon. The great set there by Glenorchy, who are defending, but Taroona with the second push there, make a bit of space, and they're going to walk that on. Watts takes it and hands it off to Kazarine, who could have held on to that, and he's given another ordinary pass. Just needs to gain a little bit of confidence, Kazarine. In that case there, I've seen him play touch football. He's very elusive, but he needs to just back himself a little bit. He had a great gap there. Ball taken in by Anderson. Nice hard forward run. Goes to Holman, who gives it out to Solder, and the ball comes wide again. Daniel just holds that ball and offers it in two hands. Ball secured there by Taroona and go blind. Oh, great hit there by Holman, who just shoves off the attempted tackle from the Glenorchy player. Might have been, not sure who that was, Chase Scott possibly, with the black tape around his ears. She'll go a little bit lower next time in the tackle. And another loose pass there from the Taroona backline. Really got to sort that out. But Gilding runs back into some traffic. And Solder's got Watts outside him with Rob Holmes with lots of space, and the corner's open, and Holmes will dive over, slide over for a tackle. For a tackle? What am I saying? A try. Forgotten how to speak. Glenorchy really struggling now when they're 5 tries down. So again, the wind seems to have just died down a little bit, and Taroona still using that kick though to gain some valuable field position. But the breeze does seem to be a little bit less at the moment. Has been for a little while. It'd be devastating for Glenorchy if the breeze dies down before they get their chance to make the best use of it. So again, Glenorchy suffer a try against them to one of the Taroona outside backs. Conversion from Solder on the other side. The breeze has completely died now. Not going to assist him at all. He's got the distance on that kick too. Just misses away to the right by the look of that. Nice strike though. So Taroona 33, Glenorchy 0. Taroona have shifted the ball side to side across the field really effectively, other than their passing of probably their inside backs. Passes often just out in front of the target, and the wind can play a part in that, but in a lot of cases here it's just pushing that pass a little bit too much rush. So Lover with the kick. It's a nice chip there, straight to Holman though, who's the person who always wants to take that ball. It's a big tall fella, he's good overhead, secures the ball nicely, ever reliable. Nice pass there, but Brocklehurst fumbles that forward. And Glenorchy have a scrum. Call for a sub here. We've got Glenorchy hooker Brady Blaranda comes off for a rest, and he is replaced by Vaha Afa. Glenorchy will be hoping to get some good go ahead from Afa. It's one of those dynamic players who's playing in the front row, but he's pretty mobile too. Glenorchy will be hoping to secure this scrum in a nice platform. Yeah, good drive there, well supported. And the ball's taken out there. Lovell just manages to get around Solder, but Solder gets his hands on him. And Charlie Holmes pushes the looping Howie Highland over the sideline. Pretty easy defence there to cover in front of the Taroona bench. So line out to Taroona. Looking for Solder to drive this ball downfield. Breeze has picked up a little bit again. Jump. Okay, player's not allowed to jump before the throw. And Daniel gives the little chip, and that's in a great spot there. That's a great spot. If that ball just sits up and it's rolled on, which is good, Searle's able to gather that really well. If that ball had to bounce back and slowed up a little bit, there were two Taroona runners there who could have taken that ball. Referees called the ball out there, and Oscar Gildings paid attention to the referee's signal and has come around and disrupted that, taking the player out. Good listening, good paying attention. That's one of the things there, and a referee was giving good direction there. He's called the ball out, so everyone's then allowed to come around the back of the ruck. Glenorchy bench didn't hear that, but Harrison just manages to get that. And again, a lost ball there. Pass was okay. Watts just looking up at the tacklers coming at him. Daniel not rolling out of the way effectively enough there. He put his hand up, to the referee to say, "Sir," but he really needed to roll the other way. That's Wakefield from Glenorchy takes that ball into the ruck. No one from Glenorchy really making any waves here, but Arthur with a great run through there. Oh, and Taroona player there, Harrison just dives on top of that ball. But we'll go back for the earlier penalty for the player not rolling away. And Lovell kicks the ball long, but hasn't made touch, and Rob Holmes finds a little bit of space. Knocked on there. He's just tried to pop that ball back as he hit the ground, and there's a great run there from Lovell, but I think he's tried to flick that back. Taking the advantage there from the earlier knock on, but unfortunately he's knocked it on as he's hit the ground. A little bit of scrappy play, but despite the scoreline, Glenorchy are looking good with the ball in hand. Haven't really threatened yet, but they're certainly drawing a lot of the Taroona defenders in. Particularly the Lovells. The defensive line here, they've pushed Fahoko into fly half, with Michael and Aaron Lovell coming out into the centres for the defensive line. And that ball's kicked out by Taroona. We'll see half time. Taroona 33, Glenorchy 0. With a very strong wind favouring Taroona there, so I'd expect Glenorchy to make good use of that. They're not out of this game at all. Despite that scoreboard, I would not count them out. With a strong wind like this, 2 or 3 try breeze easily, Glenorchy will expect to come back in the second half. So the teams reset for the second half. Glenorchy have got a job ahead of them, being a few substitutions on the field there. Number 24, Jumbo Hart, has come on. No doubt be playing in the front row, probably replaced Jai Terry by the look of it. And number 9, Joe Pereira, also on for the Blacks. Cheeky little kick to the middle there, taken by Sam Lowe, Taroona's captain. And Taroona look to return the ball out of their defensive end. And Watts again, he's a couple of times now just been looking up as he's taken the ball. So, knock on. Glenorchy, with this very strong breeze, have their first really positive attacking opportunity, I would say. They had a couple of line-outs closer down and drove the ball into their attacking end last half a couple of times, but against this wind they really didn't look too damaging. Better scrum from Glenorchy, and Pereira dishes the ball out to Lovell, who gives it to his brother, the other Lovell. Taroona backs try to hold Lovell up, but unsuccessfully, and he gets to ground. Glenorchy keeps swinging right there into the hands of Arthur, who came on late in that half. A big drive into the ruck there from one of the Glenorchy players, but Taroona have stolen it and go to Gilding on the left there, who doesn't offer the pass, but taking a high tackle, I think. It's one of those players who somehow attracts players' arms and shoulders to his head. Thomas Marlowe is another one of those players. Rarely does a game go past where there's not a high tackle. They're quite elusive, they step a lot, but for some reason there's a target on their forehead. So, after Glenorchy had some good attacking position there, Taroona have managed to steal that ball, draw the penalty, and are now in their own attacking half. Pity the line-out throwers having to throw in this kind of wind. That's a great throw there, well taken by Harrison for Taroona. And the ball's given to Charlie Holmes in a nice space. Well tackled there by Michael Lovell, who gives off to Daniel, who we thought was going to come off before, so we didn't see the wonderful Tardar on the field. Hopefully we might get an opportunity to watch him play a little bit later. James Holman takes that ball around. There's a Glenorchy player just missed him in the tackle and is down. That's Harrison Thomas, just slowly getting up. There's not a lot of contesting at the ruck happening here by Glenorchy. Usually the signs of, well held up there. Okay, tackled now. Great rucking, great counter-rucking there by Glenorchy. Great counter-rucking by Glenorchy there. They have gone off their feet, but they didn't get on the ball. Oh, well taken there by Aaron Lovell. Jumbo Hart's hammered that ball into him. Really, they're up and about now, Glenorchy. They're really into it. A couple of these players that have come on are really giving them some go forward. Knocked on, I think, there by Taroona player. Hart ducks around, taken by Watts, but Glenorchy strive forward. James Holman got up very early and led Aaron Lovell into a giant hole. Rickard Daniel's gone to make the tackle there, and I think he's just about had enough. But more penalties at the breakdown against Taroona. They've been really strong at the breakdown, Glenorchy. And you know, not overcommitting when they're defending. It just shows they want to make sure they don't not giving Taroona those opportunities to have overlaps out in their backs. But certainly on their own ball, they've been really strong. Forced a lot of penalties. Taroona need to tidy that up, because with this wind, a penalty anywhere on the field is an opportunity for Glenorchy to go deep into attack. Aaron Lovell in number 13 has been damaging. Thought he might have been injured before, but he seems okay. Scrappy line out there. Jumper didn't get taken up. Actually got pulled back down by his lifters, and Taroona win that ball. It's chipped out by Salter, who manages to find touch somewhere around the 22-metre line. Glenorchy still with possession. They want to do better than their last line out. Had a few good line outs early, Glenorchy, but their last few have not been great. And disrupted again there by Taroona, but hit back very well there by the Glenorchy player. I'm not sure if it was Hart. I think it might have been Hart. Might have been Arthur. And Glenorchy, through the hands of Harrison, bring the ball wide. Gilding takes a good tackle there. I'm not just great tackle on Lovell and took him to ground. I'm not sure how Lovell ended up back on his feet. Mustn't have been held there. Flicked the pass out there by Glenorchy. Got some room on the wing. We can't really see what's happening because of the players from where I'm sitting, but it's a good tackle there by Rob Holmes. And Trey Ramaritu loses the ball in that tackle. Should still be playing advantage to Taroona, yes. And no advantage from the knock-on there by the Glenorchy winger. It's one of these situations as the defending team in territory that you just hope that when you get that ball passed back to you, the wind isn't blowing a gust, because it's very hard to kick against, and right now the wind's pretty low. So we give the ball to Marlowe, who's got no support, and again the counter-rucking of Glenorchy's good. Taroona bench weren't happy with the counter-rucking, with the players going off their feet as they went through, but I think they passed the ball, not really, and stolen there by Taroona. Brocklehurst gives the ball, quickly off to Rob Holmes, but apparently there was a knock-on.
Big scrum, Shaggy!
Played a couple of games of rugby. The Reds off you, right?
So Glenorchy attacking position, attacking ball, and the scrum no more than 10 metres out, I would say from here, maybe a little bit more than 10 metres out. It's a good scrum from the black team. Very good possession there for their backs, who've been pretty elusive. And Gilding had hold of Lovell and just let him go. But Taroona backs managed to get the cover defence around there and hold the ball up.
Still.
Oh, there's a big gap there, but no, player held up there in Klook.
Eyes up! Nice, Blue Man!
Solid defence on the line there from the Taroona team. Joe Pereira runs sideways and gets nowhere, but Glenorchy secure that ball. Their ruck's been really good. And the ball out to Arthur, who bustles his way through and gets them on the front foot, but they slow the ball down again, take their time. And the ball comes wide. Highland, great hit there from Holman on Highland, who's lost that ball on the ground in the tackle. Cracking defence there by the big man, James Holman. He'll be missing his second row brother, Anthony Lean, today, who's unable to play. hopefully by the end of the day there might be some good news from the Lean family. We're awaiting the birth of the second child. Congratulations to those guys.
That wasn't a shot at you, that was kind of...
There's so scrum to reset. In the back end of the first half, Taroona's scrum was dominating the Glenorchy scrum quite effectively, though the first scrum this half was very good and the Blacks drove forward in the fashion that we're used to seeing them do. But two new men in the front row. It wasn't Jai Terry that came off. It was Hasty, replaced by Hart. So the front row there of Hart, Arthur, and Jai Terry thus far has proved to be a little more successful. This front row is just pushing up really high there. So the ball comes out to Taroona, out to Gilding, whose kick doesn't go where he wants it to go. And it's fielded by Searle out here, who chips back into the 22. Solder will be waiting for the mark. Not a bad option, but unfortunately Solder was waiting back for that. No breeze at the moment to disturb that. And Solder nudges the ball over at the halfway mark. So just a substitution there. Lewis Thomas has just come on and Baden Maynard is having a well-earned rest. Jumbo Hart throws it in, goes to the back and found by Klook there, gets it out to Pereira. And the chip there is good, but Taroona backs are waiting for that. Great tackle over there by the winger, but Gilding, who's quick, finds some space and no one's going to tackle him. Really ordinary defence there. I know he's a great runner, but that last attempted tackle by the Glenorchy player was not really what you would call an attempt. Just stood there. No shoulder down, no good body position, no footwork. Very disappointing for Glenorchy, who'd done a lot of good work, particularly through their forwards in the earlier parts of this half. To see a player run around your whole team like that's pretty disheartening. Really hope that Glenorchy can come back down the field and do better than that. But thinking about kicking with this wind, which has seemed to have just sort of subsided a little, but unfortunately the last couple of kicks that the Glenorchy players have taken in general play have actually been not into open space. One went straight into the arms of Salter and the other bounced straight into the arms of Gilding, who was able to take that ball and then run at least 70 metres to score a try. And there's his third, just like last time against the Stags. And the conversion is good. So we're now looking at a 40-0 deficit. Not what we expected after the last two times these two teams met. One thing that we know about Glenorchy is they never say die. That's always been something that's been a consistent theme at this club. There's a great spirit amongst them, and you can never afford to relax. Kicks long, goes back to Rob Holmes, who punts it downfield in a fairly ordinary kick, fielded by Searle, who's taken a great line across field and seen a bit of space, but running sideways and Scrapped by Kazarine there by the jumper, not just enough to stop him. And Glenorchy are able to reset midfield. Where they've done well is in this situation here where they're in tight. Good clearing ball there. Pereira with the ball out to Terry, who's not ready. Terry hasn't managed to get down, but he's got his hands free again. He's done it a couple of times. So he gets tackled, but manages to get those hands up high and pass over the top. So we've seen an intentional knock-on out there by the Taroona player. Oh, and a yellow card too. Right. That will give Glenorchy a little bit of help. Playing 15 on 14 while Rickard Daniel gets a 10-minute break.
I thought I could catch it.
The kick goes long and Glenorchy with another attacking opportunity. I'm not surprised to see them down this end of the field. So the line out throw comes to front with Harrison Thomas unable to take that ball, and the ball won by Taroona again. Kazarine to Solder, who clears, and ball knocked on down there, but it was already out, fortunately for Taki Skrepatos.
Naughty boy.
Quick ball to the front there, disrupted and knocked on by Taroona, so Glenorchy will get an opportunity here to get it, but it's not coming out. And another penalty at the breakdown. So Taroona players no other way. Thomas takes a quick tap here and Lovell bustles through with two players on him. Unable to get him to ground. Finally Watts does so. And Pereira comes left. A lot of space out here. So Trey Ramarutu takes that ball but is tackled well. Taroona with 4 defenders on this side and no attackers. And Thomas takes it through but is collected by Holman, and Watts is on his feet here with his hands all over the ball but told no. Looks up and asks a question, and then Glenorchy have got a big overlap on this side. And Holmes is not looking outside him but is able to cover. Searle with a good run back inside. He might score from here. No, he's taken down by Gilding just short of the line. So the Stags surge forward. Ball goes out to Hart, who receives what might have been a forward pass. No, offside play by Taroona. Could see another one over here on one of these plastic seats alongside me if they keep up these penalties at the breakdown. Great run there by Michael Lovell, who smashes headfirst into, I think that was Ruben McConaughey, front row from Taroona, who's copped one in the solar plexus. And he's down. No, not sure. He's feeling his knee. Not looking good. But the Stags finally rewarded for some persistence there. Again, it's one of the, I think that was like Michael Lovell, I think, who hit that ball up and scored in the number 10. Not sure. Sean, was that Michael Lovell who scored that? Yes, confirmed. By Glenorchy bench player Sean Rogers. I'm sure some of you are aware of that name. I'm sure there's a... So McConaughey for Taroona is still down after that battering ram of Michael Lovell ran straight into him. I just can't quite work out where he's injured. I think he's probably winded very badly. Looks like it hit him in the chest, but we'll see Percy Blomfield enter the playing arena to replace the injured man. wearing the number 2. Great solid defender is Blomfield. He's not a big man, but he's a very, very fit person. You got him. I suspect he'll probably go to blindside flanker, and we'll see Leon Anderson with the very swollen left eye move into the front row to replace McConaughey, who seems okay. He's being walked to the bench, not to the rooms, so I dare say he's not a terrible injury, but he did bounce off. The kick there's not made the 10 and bounces out over the sideline.
Let's lift, Blue! Come on, Blue!
So the score is Taroona 40, Glenorchy with that try just scored on a 5 points, 40-5. Glenorchy have had all the possession this half, but yet Taroona managed to score a try and convert that, I believe, as well. Versus the 5 points this half from Glenorchy. So Glenorchy will be looking to surge down into attack here. Gilding at fullback covers really well back there. The wind's died. You can probably see across at the trees now. There's next to no breeze right now. It's a very gusty day. Glenorchy go right to the hands of the try scorer Lovell, who's taken a tackle there by Gus McPhail from Taroona, and then they go right again to that blind side. Searle here is way in front of the rest of his back line. Probably not sure if they're expecting a kick, but that's ball disrupted there by the giant arms of Tanaka Harrison. I think he possibly has the award for the biggest forearms at the club. Clook getting back slowly, and Solder decides he might just threaten a kick, and they decide to go quickly. I'm not sure it was the best idea, but yeah, very late tackle there on Marlowe, but ball comes out wide to Holmes. Got to get that ball out quickly, Taroona. The counter-rucking of Glenorchy has been really good, and I don't know who that was. Not paying attention, didn't see the ball come out. Taroona have somehow managed to get that back. Harrison takes the ball into contact there and is now down. He's got to be released by Glenorchy, and there'll be a penalty to Taroona there. All it takes is one knee on the ground, and then you've got to let go. I think, they held him up for the first few seconds, but got that knee on the ground and just have to be able to hear the referee. And Taroona nudges the ball over. A few players here on the Taroona backline looking at the bench, not sure what's happening, but first actual attacking opportunity for Taroona this half, I think. That with the line out, going to Harrison at the back, well taken, pop down to Kazarine on the right hand, gives the long wide pass. And a big hole there for Marlowe, who runs into contact. Last line of defence is able to take him. Holman takes the ball, looks for someone, loops. Oh, McPhail over there tries to give the ball over the back and throws it straight into the hands of a Glenorchy player. There's a big overlap over there. And Glenorchy have managed to steal it and are recovering the ball, hopefully to kick that ball out of defence. Reece Watts is the only one back there, but there's no one chasing, and he goes wide to Rob Holmes. He's got a bit of space out here, but the second wave of defenders is there. He chips it infield, which is exactly where Searle, the fullback, is, and it's well taken actually by Aaron Lovell coming at an angle. He gets tackled in there, and we have another kick here. A lot of space there. Charlie Holmes will take that and find a little bit of space. No, he's well tackled by Clook. No, it doesn't hold on to him. And referee Gardner wants to stop the play. We've got a couple of men down on the field. There's a player down right in front of the posts. Not sure, it's possibly a Taroona player. Is it Marlowe? Might be Tom Marlowe. No, it's not Marlowe. I don't know. Is it black shorts or blue shorts? It's a bit hard to tell. There's no one from Glenorchy down there, so I'm assuming it's a blue. Might be Gilding. Might be Oscar Gilding, one of the men with a target on his head. So a little bit of a pause in play here. Just some concern for the injured player. Both of these teams today really sort of struggled to make a full bench of players, and the last thing that we really do want to see is more injuries coming into this back end of the season. There have been a lot throughout the year, a lot of teams suffering from players, not having enough players at this time of the year. Glenorchy got a few familiar names on their bench today, including the Sean Rogers I mentioned, and John Thomas, another one of those players who's on the bench with the boots on, might find himself having to come on into the front row, who knows. And here's that man I talked about before coming onto the field. Ta-da! There he is. He'll come out onto this wing, and we'll see one of the Holmes brothers go into the fullback position. Gonna have to defend carefully here, Taroona, because being a man down, and now they've lost their last line of defence in Gilding. But Taroona's ball going sideways. Really want to get that ball out. Watts gets it. He's got Kazarine outside him, who's got some space. He should go by himself. He chooses to run straight into Lovell there. Pops it up and finds the hands of Leon Anderson, who doesn't quite get his body the right way around, but the ball comes back. We've got a Glenorchy player down in back play. James Holman takes it into contact and lays it back nicely. Kazarine with a shin burner, and Ed Solder waltzes over into a gap. Well taken by Solder. That ball was very low. He's probably almost expecting it by now. This player's going to ground everywhere. That was, I think it was Arfa in the background there. Just wasn't able to get back up and get into a defensive position. Not sure, I could hear Coach Tonks over there, just not very happy with the refereeing. Not sure, I'm not sure what he saw. And 47-5. You really can't see Glenorchy coming back from here now. That's a long, long way out. Okay, he's not happy with that scrum. Not sure what he saw, but the ball seemed to stay in the scrum and came out quite happily, so however, I wasn't really watching. Right now, the gust breeze is really strong. Look like we've had another bit of a sub. Taroona let that ball hit the ground. Watts takes it in front of Dar, who chases up.
Good talk, Holman. Yeah, Dar.
Can't really see what's happening here from my position. Tongchi's happy with that one. Got the penalty their way. Another penalty at the breakdown against Taroona coming in on the side. So Lovell with the quick tap to Lovell, who scored the last try. Taking in a good tackle there by the 200 gamer Brocklehurst. But they got big numbers on the side here, Glenorchy. And Hart takes the ball through and gives it off to Maynard, who scores a good try. So well done. Always their way, Glenorchy. As I said before, they're never gonna roll over. A nice easy try there with the quick tap and a big overlap down this side. And the big frame of Jumbo Hart running down there, I think, was a bit overwhelming for Dar, who was not able to make that tackle, and Hart just ran through and offloaded to Maynard, who was able to score a nice untouched try down the side. So Glenorchy hit back. Said before, this breeze is just on and off. We're going to have a substitution here. Looks like Ramaritu for Glenorchy is going to come off, and he'll be replaced by number 17, James Devine. Great kick there by Lovell. Beautiful use of the wind. Great curve. Aimed it out in front and let the wind do the rest. And his natural hook on that too is a wonderful kick. I'll be pleased with that, the Stags. Got to get a few more of them to bridge that gap even further. So back to a 35-point deficit. 5 converted tries. It's a long way for the Blacks. But they'll give it their best shot. So, Solder with the kickoff. Got to make 10 this time. Decides to go deeper for safety into the arms of Maynard. Well taken. Steps back in field a little bit and runs forward. Not held there in that tackle by Lowe. He's slow to get up. There's a lot of players being slow to get up after tackling here. Daniel is back on, the yellow-carded man for Taroona. Rob Holmes is out there at fullback, and interesting play there. Little pop through. I think that was, who was that? For Hoko, I think. But didn't get it anywhere, and ball taken in there by Marlowe, who didn't release. I think it was... Interesting decision. Must have been paying an advantage for that, because Lovell was lying on the ground when he had that ball, but he must have had enough purchase on it before he went off his feet to draw that penalty. Glenorchy going ahead in attack. Taroona looking a little bit tired. Quick ball to the front there and back to Hart, who goes wide to Aaron Lovell, who gets outside Watts. Gives it to Michael Lovell, who catches that beautiful ball beautifully, though it went behind him, but then loses it as he hits the ground. So Taroona recycle. I'm not sure. Okay, so apparently, Lovell, when he hit the ground, didn't lose. The ball must have been stolen by Taroona, and it's stolen again. The breakdown here has just been so messy. It's pretty confusing for the players, and more confusing, I think, even for the bench when this ball goes in from one end and out the other, and in from one team and out from the other. Oh, dribble pass out there. Marlowe ducks and weaves again, and Taroona secure that ball. Oh, there's a horrible grab to the neck there by Maynard to pull Harrison out of that ruck. It's that's not been picked up by anybody. But that kind of neck roll is awful to see. Really awful. I hope he's okay. They've just called for a bit of assistance here. I had a perfect angle on that from here. The camera would have been looking right at it, I reckon. We're just going to have a look at Harrison's neck. It's one of those perils, and one of those big no-nos in rugby is to grab the player around the neck at a ruck and roll out. Good to see Harrison getting to his feet. He's all right, I hope. Well, there's a good line of view on it from here on the camera. I could see it pretty well from here. It looked kind of bad in real time, I don't know. If I was closer, I'd tell you. The fact that he's okay is the best. Taroona scrum. Good solid scrum from both teams there. Kazarine flicks the ball out to Salter, who gives it off to Daniel. There's another bit of a run here. He loves the fend there. Oh, taken a bit high. No, referee. Oh, they're interesting. Anyway, then the ball taken by Fahoko, who then drops it in the tackle. I know it was there was no sort of force in that contact, but hand over the shoulder on the neck in that tackle is just not okay, and neither touch judges spotted it. Somehow Taroona lose the ball in that breakdown, and then Glenorchy lose it. So another scrum, good solid scrum from both teams there. Watts takes it again. He's taken the ball and given it out to Kazarine a few times, and this time he finds Daniel. And good ball from Holman there onto. Players have to release, isn't it? Players need to release. Finally get the call and the support from the referee to tell that. The ball flicked out. Oh, just not a great pass there. Well kicked on by Lovell and has gathered it nicely. And that's a knock on. And crowd favourite, Dar makes the tackle and Lovell drops it on the ground forward. Highlight of the day. It was great. It was a great thought there from Lovell. He's gone to put the ball down to get back up and pick it up again because he wasn't really held in the tackle. But unfortunately, as he's put the ball down, it's just rolled forward. Reece Watts comes off. The effervescent Thomas van Dongeren on the blind side flank here with the tattoos down the right arm. Oh, good scrums again there. Nice solid scrum. It's great to see that platform and the ball coming out. Ball gets pushed out to Marlowe, who's taken well there, but great support play from Salter, who's flicked the ball over the top there to Charlie Holmes, who gives it to his brother Rob back inside. Taroona, just great support play out there, but the defence from the Stags is solid. Great hit on Arthur there. Not sure what's happening there with the Glenorchy player reaching over the top there. I suppose if he's the only man from his team there, he's allowed to grab that ball. And scrappy play, the ball comes back and Holmes chips forward and I think has put that out on the full. And it'll be a Glenorchy line out right in front of the scoreboard. You can see over there shows that score of 47-12. And the man with the ball in his hand over there no longer is, John Thomas, one of those players who's been around at Glenorchy for a long time, even longer than Brocklehurst on the field for Taroona. So Hart throws it in and finds Arthur at the back there. Dong's unable to make the tackle on him, but finally he's taken down by Harrison, who's played well today. And Glenorchy just again with that slow breakdown, throw the ball out to Lovell, who throws the ball even wider, go. And Taroona love to see Dar with his hands on the ball. But the counter ruck goes... Counter ruck off their feet, but the Taroona player in Salter apparently was on the side.
Who you got, Lou? Who you got? Hey boys, they're ready for you.
Great kick. Great kick. There's a forward pack. You love it when your kicker puts you in that kind of position. So Glenorchy will take an opportunity here with maybe not a huge amount of time on the clock. Maybe less, maybe only 5 minutes. Had a couple of stoppages, but they'll look for an opportunity to get their score closer to 20. JT with the throw in. Look for him to go to the front. Yeah, didn't go 5, I don't think. Must have been okay. They've used that effectively a few times. So Pereira to Lovell, who runs sideways into Daniel. He's got to let him go now. Good solid hit between those two. Great competition. Michael Lovell, taken by Anderson, manages to dish the ball out to Thomas, who finds Klook, and out on the wing there. Great try. Well done, Glenorchy, to Skrepetos on the right wing.
Get up off the line and smack someone.
Well done to Glenorchy again. Good persistence there. The one-on-one defence was good that time from Taroona. Just making sure those Lovell boys didn't break through. In fact, it was more than one-on-one. I think that was what gave the overlap out there, which allowed Skrepetos to score with a little bit of space. Well done to the Stags. Again, they're not putting their heads down. They'll always score if you... Taroona fortunately were able to put a good score on in the first half that gave them enough breathing space to be able to weather the storm that Glenorchy have brought up this half. So Aaron Lovell with the conversion attempt. It's low and successful too. Great kick from out there. Well done. Always hard with tired legs at this end of the game. He's played a great game, Lovell. It's been a good competition between he and Daniel. It was highlighted by a great contact with him in the middle of the field before. And Taroona with a substitution. May well be the debut match for Connor Beliers. He's going to find himself over on the left wing in place of... No, maybe not on the left wing. Not sure who even came off. Maybe... Yeah, no, Charlie Holmes has come off. So kick fielded there by Glenorchy. No. Crowd, the Taroona crowd liked something. I'm not sure what happened, but referees decided to pull that up. Maybe some advice from the touch judge, I don't know. Just have a quiet conversation about whatever happened. I was not looking, I was just seeing which player from Taroona had been replaced. It was Charlie Holmes. He's on the far side of the field there, just having a bit of a rest. So, nothing. Just an opportunity for the officials to have a bit of a chat. It's good, we don't want to see too many things interrupting the game, so we'll let it play. But Taroona, who are in possession of that ball at the ruck, will get the scrum. The closing minutes of the game, Taroona 47, Glenorchy 19. Taroona will look to surge forward and put a few more points on the board to cross that 50-point mark. Well done by Pereira, and Kazarine just sort of goes, well, thinks, well, what was happening there? And Oh, and then knocked on. Play on, sir. Dar with the chip across field there is taken, I think, knocked on by Taroona, so we'll go back for the earlier knock on.
Run with it, Dar!
Just referee wants to have a bit more of a stable platform for this scrum, so we'll try again. Most cases the team in front here, Taroona, won't mind a few more scrum resets if they have to have them. Just winds that clock down and leads towards the win. Great scrum there from Glenorchy. Taroona will want to get that out quickly. Yeah, well done. They've been hoping for that for a while, I think, Glenorchy, but Taroona were able to get that ball out. They would have been okay, but the drive pushed all the way through and Taroona front row unable to withhold the drive from the Stags.
Stay there.
Nice kick there. Oh no, the ball hasn't gone out either. Belias isn't sure what to do there and just drops it backwards. Cleared from the grubber kick, I think, by Noah Kazarine, and that's the ball game. So a scrappy finish, great pressure from the Stags in the last 10 minutes there. But we have a final score of Taroona 47 to Glenorchy 19. And really, that's a big margin, but I don't think it really highlights the difference between these two teams. Taroona were able to make a lot of use of the wind in the first half, and the Stags weren't able to quite do the same in the second half. Bit tired, unable to get that go forward that Taroona had in that earlier stages of the game where they were able to score quite a few tries out on the wings. Few injuries, few sore heads, sore necks, but game played in good spirits, good clean game, and that's what we like to see. So well done to Taroona for another win, and close it out there.